We've been productive for a minute, and we've been entertained for 17 minutes. Look at that scrubbing, streaming over a server, that is smooth. There, I tested the sidecar feature now. You happy? Hey guys, how you all doing? Really? That's just great. You know, I'm doing pretty great today too because it's new software day. It is time for Apple's macOS 10.15 Catalina beta installation sensation. Now, since this is a beta, not everything is up and running, and since I am an old fart, I have hardware that does not support all of the new features, so we are going to make do with what we can. But I'll tell you what. Even if I can't show off a certain thing, I'll still talk about how cool that feature is in theory. Sound good? Great. So let's throw this on the Catalina drive. And the installer found recently used apps on your Mac. These apps will not run on 10.15. That's right. Well, that is no big deal because that is on my 10.14 system, so I think we'll be okay. But yes, Text Wrangler, you're gonna need to update, which you're probably not going to anymore. All right, so this is the first part, and then we'll move into the next part of the installation. And of course, as per tradition, we will take this thing for a test drive and look at all the cool new features and some of the small things too that you maybe didn't notice right away or notice at all. Your computer will restart automatically. It may restart more than once. Yes, it might, but that first part is false. It's gonna restart manually because I pressed the button. And here we go, phase 2. All right, there's the Apple, and if you haven't noticed yet, yes, I am installing on my trusty external LASI drive like I usually do, and I do not encourage installing beta software as your daily driver. I know people who have done that, and I think that's crazy. And my name is Krazy Ken, with a K. So me saying something is crazy, that's freaking saying something. So, PSA for today, don't use it as your daily driver. Got the logo, got the loading bar. We'll probably get an estimated time remaining soon. And this should be rather painless. And then we'll populate the system with some content and test drive the new apps and features. While it's going, let's see, what are you most excited about? For me, sometimes it's just the small things. Like they did some nice changes in QuickTime that I've been waiting for like 10 years because QuickTime Pro had these features, but now that QuickTime Pro is like fully phased out, they moved some of that stuff over to QuickTime 10, which is really nice. I am excited to try out the music and Apple TV apps though. That I'm pretty excited about. 10 minutes remaining. Let's see what else. Sidecar will not run on this computer. I've already determined that much. And it turned off. Okay, it's rebooting. Okay. At least I think it is. Sometimes it's hard to tell with how quiet these darn things are. And no more sleep lights. So it's like, what are you doing? So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I do use the Reminders app a lot, so that redesign is pretty cool. That I will experiment with. And I guess we'll just see what people do with Project Catalyst, you know, bringing iOS apps over to macOS much more easily. That could be a big thing. That will be a big thing. That's a huge thing for developers. So that'll be unrolling and like unraveling as time goes on. And let's see what happens next. All right, the fans are shifting into maximum overdrive right now. Holy crap. And yes, sometimes the buzzing still does happen. I did try fixing the fans with a very MacGyver mediocre approach, but it actually worked for months. I didn't hear any buzzing for a long time, and then it started coming back kind of intermittently. It's very faint, but still there. All right, we've gone black again. Ooh, back to the Apple. Let's see. Bar is moving fast. Oh, that thing is just booking at supersonic speed. And of course, right when I say that, it slows down to nothing. Right. It's gonna start going backward. Ooh. Gray screen with a mouse cursor. Good sign. Wouldn't it be awesome if they brought back the welcome video? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Well. And there we go. Wasn't that easy? I love how easy Apple makes it to install their software, even on an external drive. Piece of cake. Data and privacy. Okay, I continue. Don't transfer any information. We have nothing. I guess I could sign in with my Apple ID. Oh, there's the new icon for the Find My app. Hey, it's still showing the Mojave icon there. Oh yeah, we probably need an account. That might be nice. I guess we could just be the Taoism symbol, whatever that's technically called. But yes, Krazy Ken is good to go. We're good. Let's just throw her in Chicago. Not Pinawa. I'm Panawa. All Canadians hate me now. Nope. Oh my gosh. I just want to type the word Chicago. Thank you. There we go. Yes, the analytics kind of have to be sent for a beta, so you can't really opt out of that. That makes sense. Screen time is a new feature. We will take a look at that later. I mean, we're only going to be test driving this for a short amount of time, so I don't know how much screen time we'll actually get. Okay, so this is a new button here, auto. So I guess depending on the time of day, well, dark mode's my favorite. It's the only true mode. Setting up. Piece of cake. Here we are in macOS 10.15 Catalina. Wow, the new dark mode wallpaper looks freaking awesome. Shnikes. This is beautiful. So yeah, new apps right here. We have music, podcast, Apple TV, and then the traditional, news, App Store and all that stuff. It looks like the icons got tweaked for the App Store a little bit. It doesn't have that white around it anymore. Now, I just did a recent episode about the death of iTunes and macOS and the splitting up of these apps, so go check that out if you haven't seen that yet. But I just want to assure you that even though stuff is split up now, you can still sync your devices and back them up and restore them through the Finder. We'll test that out later. And your purchase content will show up in the apps as well. The services will stay in sync. Not everything is fully operational right now because it is a beta, so just letting you know in case you had any worries. So let's, for the first time, open up the music app and see what's up. So my understanding is that this music app is still based off of iTunes code, but now it's its own standalone app. I think that looks pretty there. That looks nice. Let's take a look at the About menu. Music version 1.0. Preferences. Let's just do some basic looks here. General. Playback. Files. iTunes media folder location. Interesting. It still says iTunes there. But yeah, it looks like you could pull up your existing libraries, no problem, or your existing media folders, pretty simple. Keep organized. Copy, so you can just reference the files, or you can actually have a copy occur. And during import, yeah, it looks like you can actually have some re-encoding happening. Interesting restrictions. There's still TV show preferences in here, but I'm sure this will be cleaned up later. This isn't a TV app anymore. And reset warnings, reset cache. All right, browse Apple Music. They're going to be pushing Apple Music, I imagine, a lot. Ad-free videos. Interesting. Well, I guess there is some video content in Apple Music itself. What else we got here? We have lyrics there, and we have the up next list there. AirPlay. Pretty sweet. So there's my Apple TV there. Controls here, album art there. Pretty awesome. So that's Apple Music. Here's the library, and here's the store, iTunes Store. So maybe they still call the store iTunes Store? I don't know if they're going to be calling it something different. Maybe they just haven't changed all the naming schemes yet. But yes, you can still get to the store. You can still get to your purchases, no problem, it looks like. But yeah, that's interesting, just that naming. I don't know if they're going to call that something different later. So let's import some shit. So on one of my external partitions here, I have a content folder just to test drive the system with. And, well, look at that, we got music. So if we can just drag this in, that would make me very happy. And it looks like that's all you had to do. Boom, there's the list, it's all loading. That was stupid simple. And here's all the albums. It doesn't, oh, there we go, now it loaded. So here's all the album artwork. It looks like we can hover over them. We get an option for a menu, which I'm guessing if you right click, you get a similar menu, or you get a play button. So that looks really clean right there. Let's play something. Let's play something that I wrote. So I own the copyright on it. Nah, the Ken Cinema Shenanigans theme song, why not? Let's just play that. It's a parody song. Volume control, it started in the muted position. Interesting. So yeah, I just want to test out the controls before I crank the music. So yes, we have the playback controls here. It looks like the name and everything is over here with the album artwork sitting in the corner. You can click on it, get a mini player, pretty sweet. Looks good in dark mode. Let's try full screen. That looks pretty. I think this looks pretty, guys. That looks nice. All right, let's crank up the tunes. Perfect timing.
I'll send him corny movies and analyze his mind. La la la. Continue the experiment.
Oh, they have a visualizer still.
I will win this time. La la la.
Nice, they still have the visualizer. That is pretty sweet. I think having a separate music app is gonna be a good move. Now let's take a look at podcasts. Welcome to Apple Podcasts. Powerful stories, something for everyone. Listen anytime, any place. Sounds good. So one new feature they're also doing with this is you're able to search the content within the podcast. So if you don't remember the name of a podcast, but you remember, oh, they talked about this, machine learning will help you with that. You can type in a sentence that maybe one of the hosts said, and it will help you find that particular podcast. I don't have any subscribed right now, and again, I'm not signed in, but what I do like doing is looking at Apple's keynotes through the podcast app. That's probably what I do the most, honestly, with the podcast app. So I could subscribe here, or I could play one, and it just zooms in like that. Pretty slick. Let's take a look at, wow, playback it, wow, streaming that. Look at that scrubbing, streaming over a server, that is smooth. Volume up here, looks like we can do picture-in-picture just like that. So we could do other stuff on the system and just have that float as a picture-in-picture window. Pretty sweet, man. So yeah, very consistent. It looks like the music app, but tailored for podcast. I think that's a good move. So let's put these side by side and look. And hopefully I can't fit this because my screen's too small. Aw, bummer. Speaking of that though, I think if you hover over this, you get a new menu. I swear there was a new menu for the... Oh yeah, there it is. Enter full screen, tile. And I think traditionally if you hold down the option key and click, you just get the normal zoom function. Nice. Oh, and more. So if you hold down the option key, the menu now switches from tile and enter full screen to zoom and move. So I can move the window to the left. I can move the window to the right. So I guess, you know, in case you need that. I'm not sure if I would need that, but it's cool. A little touch-up feature there and a little popover. And I'm sure like all these Linux desktop environment people are going to be like, we could already do that. Yes, you could. We all know that. Thank you for sharing. There we go, podcast. So very nice, good job, Apple there. Very consistent looks. Now here's Apple TV. This should be fun. I have an Apple TV box myself, and being able to have those features on the Mac will be pretty handy at times. And it looks like you could probably add your own content. Let's just try, because you know in iTunes you can add in your own movie. So let's just try doing that quick. Just adding our own movie file first. I have one movie on here, the latest vintage Apple Vault episode at this time, episode 4. If I can just drag that in, boom, it automatically makes a new thing called Home Movies. Pretty sweet. And the activity is up here, copying, nice. Let's just say continue. Oh no, yeah, I'm able to get to the content here. Let's zoom in. I don't know if anything will stream. I can try signing in though. But yeah, I'm able to browse. Super fan followings, friendship is magic. What a surprise. Let's try, oh, BattleBots, hell yeah. I heard the new channel, or the new season just started. Man, I remember watching the show back when I was like 4 or 5 years old, but yeah, I heard the new season just started, but I don't have cable. So this would actually be a way I could watch it. Shit, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, I don't see a preview button. Interesting. Maybe they'll add that back in later. Let's take a look at movies. Can we just command key this? Nope. I thought command 1, 2, 3, 4 would maybe change the tabs. Lego Movie. I knew that was gonna pop up. You are taunting me because that was a movie I wanted to see like right when it came out. I was busy on the premiere day and I never made time to go back and watch it. I still need to watch this. It's only $10 for the HD copy? Really? Is it really that cheap? That seems too cheap. I'm gonna have to double check on that. Okay, so it looks like I could play trailers down here. So if I hit play, let's see what happens. There we go. That seems to work just fine. Don't want to play too much of it because I don't own the copyright on this, but yeah, sweet. This is pretty nice, man. And then library brings us back here. Here's the video I just imported, so we can play that.
Hey, welcome back to the vault. I know it's been a while, but I'm glad you're here.
And then there's my Vintage Apple Vault episode. And we can just scrub through this. Doesn't look like we can scrub as fast as QuickTime, but we can still scrub, and it is a beta software. That was a good episode. And it looks like we can picture-in-picture that down here too. Pretty nice. So you can still import your own stuff and browse online. Apple TV. I like that logo. I like those colors. Let's see what kind of preferences are in here. Yep, similar things. Yep, media folder location. Okay, I said we would test out the device thing, right? So just for shits and giggles, let's see how this works. So I have a lightning cable here. I'm gonna plug in my iPhone, And in theory, since iTunes isn't on here anymore, it should just show up on the Finder. And I accidentally just plugged in a 30-pin cable. That's not gonna help us. We need to plug in a USB to Lightning cable. Okay. Helps if I plug it in on the right side. All right, phone is plugged in. And let's see what happens here in the Finder. Oh yeah, I have to unlock my phone first. There it is, instantly showed up. To allow this computer to access information on this phone, click pair. I'm sure it'll bring up some code. Perfect, or yeah, it says trust or don't trust. I'm gonna say trust. Then, yep, it's gonna bring up some code. Okay, it's my device passcode. I'm not gonna show that for obvious reasons. And then there we go. Just like in iTunes, you can now do this stuff in the Finder. So even though pretty much everything's on the cloud nowadays, if you ever need to do a manual hardwired backup, sync, restore, any of that stuff, you can do it right inside of here. And if you've used iTunes before, this should look familiar. It has the storage bar on the bottom, restore, manage, backup. You can still back up locally if you need to. Check for updates, and you have your media tabs up here. So rest assured you can still do the manual plug in and sync. And when you're done, hit eject, yank it out. So the Photos app got a little bit of a tweak. There's a new dynamic view and larger previews. So let's have a look. I have some stuff we can import. Let's go to my content here. Photos. Bet you didn't see that coming. You thought I put the stuff in the music folder. Just kidding. I know you're smarter than that. Let's let it all import. Analyzing library. Well, that sounds robotic. Let's full screen this. Oh, that's a smoother zoom in. Oh my, you can zoom in just with the trackpad just like that. Like, that is really smooth. Beautiful. So I hear there's also like a new, like dynamic view. I'm trying to see where that is. So let's see, recently saved. So that seems pretty, I think it's this view, the days view. That's what's new. It kind of creates this new mosaic layout. Nice large previews. Click on something, get a menu here. Okay, the menu doesn't do anything right now, but if you right click, you can get a menu. If you double click though, you get a nice full screen photo there. Look at that. And I'm guessing enter still gives you your editing tools. You can pinch to zoom out of the photo. Pretty sweet. So yeah, not a whole bunch of changes there, but still some nice changes in the Photos application. Reminders. I use this app all the time. Let's take a look at the new one. All new, yes it is. Tap, talk, or click, easy organizing. So yeah, this whole thing on the side looks pretty new. Things for today, things scheduled. Well, let's do a thing. So add date, add location, it's all right there. Before it was kind of like hidden in this popover, which I guess doesn't do anything right now. But now it looks like you can easily add a date from here. Oh, that's convenient. That's awesome. You can add a location instead of having to go through the menu. So we'll just say a reminder, escape from asylum. I don't know what's worse, an actual asylum or the asylum company that produced such movies as Sharknado. Produced, distributed, I'm not sure what technical term it is, but yeah, Sharknado, good times. So add a date. Let's do that tomorrow. We can take some time. Add a location, well, it's right here. So, and then you check it off and it goes away. Sweet, we escaped. Wish it was that easy, but it's not. Now the next feature I want to test, I believe is still already in macOS, but let's try buy groceries today at, okay, there we go. So it automatically popped that up. Oh, suggestion. So I have to hit the suggestion and then it puts today in there. So it has those data detectors in there where if you type in something, it knows what to do. Similar to how it currently works, but a little more graphical and easy to use, I suppose. So word on the street is system preferences is new. Yes, it looks like things are sorted a little differently and your Apple ID stuff will show up here when you actually sign in. So that's new. And here is screen time. That's a new feature. So let's see, today we've had this much screen time. We've been productive for a minute, and we've been entertained for 17 minutes. That makes sense because we were using mostly the music and like TV app. And here's a breakdown. We were in the Finder for 21 minutes. Music, photos. So like this is the feature that's on iOS already, but they're bringing it to the Mac. I like only really using photos that I shot. Go back to mine. Ooh, that's pretty. So word on the street, there's this Find My app, and there it is, asked and answered. There it is right freaking there. So Find My Friends and Find My iPhone are now all combined together. And there is offline finding, which is done through this like magical Bluetooth way, which might make some people a little skeptical about how that works with security. I mean, my device is right here. I know it's right here, but hey, if you ever need to find your device, it's here for you. All right, so to make this feature work, let's just have the Find My Mac turned on. Okay, so yep, that's the Apple account. That's pretty sweet. This is a new preference panel, which is pretty nice. Looks like you can do payment stuff from here, media and purchases, iCloud settings, pretty sweet. One thing I heard was an issue was you can't have two separate accounts signed in at once. Like on your phone, you can do an iTunes Store account and you can do your iCloud account. I don't think you can do that right now, but hopefully they get that fixed. And then here's my devices down here. So here's my little render Mac, which is basically the experimental Mac Mini. It used to have such a nobler purpose, and now it's a dumping ground for Linux distros and other stuff. Oh, okay, so security question to get to the device details. Interesting. And it looks like I can just remove from the account right here. So certain features you used to have to go to the website for, you're bouncing, we'll get right to you. Certain features you used to have to go to the iCloud website for, it looks like you can just do right on your Mac now, which is super handy. Yeah, and it looks like it keeps saying unable to connect to server, but again, this is a beta, but it looks like you would be able to go around on a map and check your devices. But yeah, it looks like that is not a thing that is going to be working right now. But I really didn't expect it to. But expect that to be a new feature soon. Hopefully we can quit this. With the sheet open. All right, well, we're going to have to force quit. I'm sure people already submitted that as a bug report to Apple, but I may just have to do my duty and do that myself, just to make sure they know, hey, that sheet makes it like impossible to do anything in the app. Now, me being a guy that does video work for a living, you know, when I'm not trapped underground, I like QuickTime. And now since QuickTime Pro is being like officially phased out with the 32-bit phasing out transition, well, Apple was smart and introduced some of the QuickTime Pro features into QuickTime 10, which is nice. So let's, for the first time, open up the updated QuickTime player. All right, so let's close that window. So here's our controls. Here's the scrubber. See, that's really smooth. That's smooth scrubbing. Whoosh. Inertia scrolling. Look at that performance. I love it. Nice. I've been wanting them to do this for a while. You can now do picture-in-picture with QuickTime. That is cool that they have that there. So that's a new feature. I heard you can also now do an image sequence. Yes, so if you have a bunch of images you need to stitch together into like a time-lapse or something like that, you can now do that. Pretty sweet. And I also heard word on the underground street that there's also timecode support for embedded timecode showing up in the player, and a new movie inspector. Yeah, I guess, yeah, it is a little bit different. It's showing the ratio for the scaling. Yeah, there's a couple tweaks to it. Remove audio, remove video. Interesting. Are those new? I know you could already flip and like rotate and edit, trim, but those I don't remember being there before. I'd have to check my math on that one. That's pretty cool. What is this, like 10.5 now? Yep, 10.5, cool. Cool new update to QuickTime there. Good job. That is an app I use all the time. So I know I didn't cover everything. I know I can't cover Sidecar, but if there's other features you liked, let me know. I'm sure I didn't hit them all. There, I tested the Sidecar feature now. You happy? It's actually pretty cool that Apple has support for Sidecar going way back to 1987. That just shows that they care about their legacy devices. Well, this was a lot of fun. A lot of cool stuff coming out of Apple from WWDC this year. Very nice. If you have not seen the Mac Pro episode or the iTunes Death episode, I highly recommend checking those out as well. But in the meantime, catch the crazy and pass it on.